Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Weller Group Wednesday. It's Mike Weller along with Shannon Stella from the Weller Group, and we have a very special guest this week. It is Yorba Linda City Council person, former Yorba Linda City Mayor Janice Lim. Thanks for being here today, Janice.
Well, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Yeah, we were trying to track you down all year last year. You were so busy. We had to wait until you were done being mayor to get you in here, but we appreciate you coming in. So now you served as mayor of Yorba Linda for pretty much 2025. I forget the exact date that switched over. Now you're back on the city council as a city council person at large. So, what did you learn as your year in office as mayor of Yorba Linda?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Being mayor is really no different from being a city council member. We do much of the same thing that we usually do all year round, but a lot of stuff that I've done gets amplified or gets highlighted. Like, for example, I did the anti-human trafficking seminar with our Congressman Young Kim and Sheriff Don Barnes, and that just gets highlighted a little bit more when you're mayor.
Mhm.
So just like things like that and programs like that were really highlighted. Also, we did the Terry L. Fitcher freeway dedication that happened in September, and now you'll see the 91 freeway dedicated to a man who served our community in the 1980s and who had given his life for us. So,
Yeah.
and that was something that was really instrumental. But those are the type of things that I was able to do as mayor and to bring to our city is recognition and also getting a lot of resources to our city.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your service as mayor. Back as a at-large city council person, like you alluded to just now, your responsibilities are very similar at this point, right? As the mayor, I guess the mayor's a little bit more of the like spokesperson, like kind of the public figure of the city council. Is that a fair way to describe it, would you say?
Exactly. And this is a 101 type of thing that I used to tell a lot of people that I talk to is um, my constituents are my bosses. And people don't understand that. They
Sure.
they just think that, oh no, it's Gavin Newsom. I go, no, 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 no. He's
Right.
not my boss. My constituents are my boss, and I answer to them. So when they have issues like there's a pothole,
Yeah.
or if there's a street sign that needs to be fixed, those are type of issues that I work on. Is more of those one-on-one personal that impacts your daily life for our constituents. So those are the type of issues that I work on. A lot of times people see me on social media and they go, man, Janice, you're everywhere. You do all these events and things like that. And I keep telling people that's only probably like 30% of the things that I do. The majority of what I do is working one-on-one with constituents.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So, in your time as mayor, or even in your entire time serving on the city council, what is something that you have learned or realized that's a challenge for Yorba Linda that maybe you didn't realize before you got on the city council or served as mayor last year?
Well, it's a continual engagement, and information is key here because what we saw with Measure JJ was that a lot of people needed to get engaged and to get informed to make good decisions for our city. And we had to do that collectively. We did that with a remarkable miracle 90+%. We passed that measure, and that took a lot of work, not just from the city council, but it had a lot to do with our constituents, committee members who were dedicated and wanted to tell people more about what's going on and how mandates work.
Yeah.
State mandates are very strict,
Hmm.
meaning that there's really no way around it, but we had to protect ourselves from builder's remedy. So that we had to keep pushing that out, and we did it. We did, yeah, over
Yeah.
90%. And that we actually got an award for that because it had a lot to do with community engagement and
Hmm.
giving people the right information to make good decisions.
Yeah, I know the city really went to work on engaging the community, setting up the committee that Shannon served on, for
Yes.
example,
That's
and
right.
just educating everybody. So
Yes.
yeah, Shannon.
Can I? Oh, I'll do this one.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
I'm wondering, what you think the residents of Yorba Linda may not know or understand that you think that they should.
Yeah, again, it has a lot to do with it's just getting engaged and just understanding how government works. this is something that I wanted to pilot a group of citizens that would understand how government works. A lot of people don't understand there's, your local government, there's your county, there's your state, and there's federal. And a lot of times that all gets conflated. And there's also judicial too. We have our water district, our school board, and we have our city council. And a lot of times issues get conflated and they think that you're responsible for a certain item. And we all need to stay in our lanes too. And so I just hope that people understand that what we do is that we are governing our city, and that we are trying to follow the mandates, the codes, and all the laws that the government gives us, and that we're advocating. I mean, last year alone, I think I went to Sacramento 6 times, and I went to DC a few times too, to advocate for our city, to get resources for our city, so that way we don't have to fight those mean mandates. Like our housing element, our number was 2,415 units. I mean, my goodness, where are we going to put that in Yorba Linda? We're already built out. We're as built out as we want to be. But Sacramento is determined in making sure that we get those units in our cities, and they're mandating it. But the city we're not developers, right? We're not developers. So we don't have control over that, but we could the only thing that we could do is just allow for the opportunity for these units to go into our city. But yeah, that was a really hard one to educate and to get across to people and get engaged people, because they have feelings about it. I always want my city to be the beautiful city that it is right now, the quiet, the quaint. By the way, we just got the 3rd best city to live in what do you call affluent city in Orange County, and we got the best city to live in Orange County, number 1, 7th in all of California.
Wow,
it's incredible, and we're the 5th safest city still. So we're doing good here in Yorba Linda.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, so my next question for you, I know it's been a big topic of concern for many Yorba Linda residents, and something that's a new trend that's becoming more and more popular, especially with our youth, are e-bikes. And I know that you've had a really big interest in this and in helping our community, and also wanting to make sure that everyone also still has their own rights as well, but making sure that they are able to have a little bit of control and able to still utilize e-bikes if they would like to. But I think now we might have some new ordinances that have come up, and wanted to see what you had to say about that.
Yeah, well, thank you for that question, because that is one of a public safety concern, right? But we also want our kids to have fun.
Right.
So those are that balance that we have to strike. So as a city, we saw 41% of all e-bike accidents happening in Orange County. Now, Yorba Linda is nowhere close to that, but we do have public safety issues. And that is, we're seeing a lot of youth, especially the youth, that are riding in our streets that are reckless, and that causes a big public safety, not just to them, but to the people that are driving or that are on our roads, who share the roads or even our trails with us. So we have to be very cognizant of that. So we did pass our ordinance in October. It's in play now since November. And what it is that we have 16 ordinance that we set aside for our city. And those 16 ordinance went side by side. We went through all 34 cities. Well, I went through all 34 cities and looked at every single ordinance that they had, and I compared it. I even included Chino Hills, because they have the equestrian trails too there as well, to see what they've done with their ordinance. So we matched it. Ours are by far the hardest ones. So not only do we have fines that are just incredibly high, we have the first offense is $250, the second offense is $500, the third offense this is the big one, is $1,000, with the thought that you might get a misdemeanor on your record.
Oh, wow. And
that doesn't matter what age you are. You could be any age that you'll get this misdemeanor, and that is determined by our city attorney.
Okay.
And with that is, you go for a job interview, what are they going to ask you? Have you ever had a what? a misdemeanor on your record, right? I mean, it's on your record, and it could be from your 6 years old all the way up to how old you could be, and you'll always be on your record. If you want to go for a job or for an internship, that question is always going to be asked too. And God forbid if you ever decide to run for public office, guess what? That misdemeanor question is going to be there too. You can't get away from it. Parents need to know that we're serious about our ordinance. We're serious about public safety. It's our number one priority, is making sure that people are kept safe. A couple of months ago, we had an accident where up in the east of Yorba Linda, we had an accident where a young man saw a police officer. He wasn't even pursuing him, but he was on his e-bike, and so he went right into the traffic, right into the red.
Oh, wow.
And this young lady hit him. He luckily had a helmet on, but he did have some serious injuries. And it's not just the person that got hit, the young person that got hit, it's also the person that was driving the car too.
Yeah.
She didn't see that coming. And so it's a public safety issue, and parents need to realize that.
Definitely.
This is a behavior issue that we as a city needs to help parents understand, that we need to monitor that behavior, because if not, someone's going to get hurt, and it's usually sooner than later. And I could tell you so many accidents, because it always pops up on my phone, like fatalities that happen nearby, and there's several of them. There's one. It was an electric scooter in Placentia. That beautiful young lady who got hit, and it was a fatality. And so that's something that
really
people have to deal with, and we don't want that. We want our kids, and we want our constituents, we want our people to be safe, but we also want them to know that public safety is our number one priority here in Yorba Linda. And that doesn't just mean people that are on bikes, e-bikes, cars, but also equestrian, because our equestrian community is very concerned about that too, because it throws them off the horse.
Exactly.
Someone's going to get hurt. Yeah, one or the other is going to get hurt, right? And we don't ever want to put anyone in that situation.
Where can the community go to find materials or education on e-bikes to help teach their children, or where can they go to find these ordinances to be able to read them?
Yep. So if you go onto our website, it's yorbalindaca.gov, and just type in e-bike ordinance, and they're right up there. Yeah, and then they made it really simple. There was even a lot of graphic designs and stuff like that. It's really easy to understand, because it could get a little confusing, like 10 miles per hour here, 20 here. So it gets kind of confusing, but it's really well laid out. Yeah, I'm really proud of our ordinance. Deanne Wigington did a really great job in putting this together for us.
Okay.
That's our captain, our chief of police.
Great. Okay. So something else that I've been really excited and passionate about, especially due to the location of where I live in the hills, are our helihydrants that we have here in Yorba Linda. They've been a really big help, and they're an aid to us, especially in the high fire areas and everything. So we have 3 helihydrants in the city of Yorba Linda. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. So helihydrants are really important. We, since the 2008 fires, we noticed that we needed something to help our community out, especially we're in the high severity zone where we live, fire zone where we live. So we had put in the first helihydrant up in Hidden Hills, and in the 2020 fires, we had one home. We know that person too that had their home burnt down. But the 2020 fires is when we had it employed. And what it is, these helihydrants are big cauldrons of water that fills up, and a specialized helicopter will take up to 5,000 to 8,000 gallons of water at one drop. And what it does, it gets your fire a lot quicker than having to take multiple trips back to refilling the helicopter. So those are so instrumental to have. In 2020, we got that fire right away. On top of helihydrants, not only do we have one in Hidden Hills, we have the second one in Bryant Ranch. We just got the third one to open up at the Deemer plant, and that one holds 8,000 gallons of water. Just to give you a reference, a typical helicopter back in the day, back in the 2020s, before 2020s, a helicopter would take no more than 500 gallons of water. So you could see how this could save the trip time and back and forth. And on top of that, our water district is so well prepared that all our hydrants, including the heli hydrant, is pre-filled when there's high fire severity time. So if there's something, I think it's 35 miles per hour winds, they automatically fill the heli hydrant and the hydrants up in our area, so we're safe. On top of that, we have the AI cameras. So Young Kim also gave us some funding and resources for AI cameras out in the fields of the Chino Hills. And you saw it like maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago near Prado Dam, there was that fire. Do you guys remember that fire?
Yes, yes.
So those AI cameras caught it. So these AI cameras not only catch the visual fire, but it also catches smoke and heat, and it could detect it right away. So we're not constantly having to like just rely on just the visual sense of it, but we actually could catch it right when it starts.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, and that's what saved us in just like a few months ago. And we've been getting them that way too. So these are AI cameras that are in our fields out there in the hills, and that's really instrumental. And we're just so thankful for resources like Congresswoman Young Kim and other people who are really looking out for us in terms of the high fire severity zone too. Also, another plug, Chris Pena from our city is an amazing man. He is like the quintessential Boy Scout. Like he is always prepared. He's always watching for us, and he's on our staff in Yorba Linda, and he's great. He does a lot of the fire safety talks. In Yorba, we do it twice a year. We're going to have one that's coming up in the springtime. So,
oh, great! I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Awesome.
That's wonderful.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So fire insurance.
Fire insurance.
Mine went up about 400%. I know I keep telling you guys this, but what you are able to do is go online on our website, yorbalindaca.gov, and look at fire insurance. We do have a letter from all 3 local agencies. So from our city, from the water district, and from the fire authorities, Orange County Fire Authority, that state that we have these heli hydrants, we have the AI cameras, we have a great, robust field mitigation plan here. So it tells you that, and that you take to your insurance company to hopefully stop them from dropping your insurance, or you could get a discount for it. So
just showing that we're lower risk.
Right, recognize our hard work, because we're really an anomaly. I mean, I hope your Belindans understand that we are very special in terms of that. And I have another trip planned to go back to Ricardo Lara's office and to really push for just for a equalization of fire insurance, and trying to get that lowered, because we're paying a lot for our fire insurance. Yeah, and also online, you could also every 6 months. People don't know this. Every 6 months, you could reinstate, or you could look at your fire insurance and ask agencies. There's 120 odd agencies here in California and around the nation that you could ask them if you could have a lower, reduce, or review your policy with them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, every 6 months.
Great to know.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Janice. So you had mentioned Measure JJ earlier, I believe. I don't know if we talked about Measure KK, but the housing element, that's, all of that's been a hot topic in Yorba Linda over the last couple of years or so. Looking forward, what do you see the future of housing in our city to be 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? What do you envision?
Yeah, I just had this conversation with our Assemblyman Philip Chin about this, because we were driving through Irvine, and they have a humongous RENA number that they have to tackle, and you could tell they've been growing, by the leaps and bounds. I mean, thousands of homes are going up, or units are going up. Yorba Linda, we are very good right now in terms of keeping our residents engaged and informed of what's happening. We have this beautiful thing called Measure B, which we're able to, we have to go to the constituents, our residents, in order to pass our RENA numbers, or pass our sites of where we're going to give the opportunity for development. But we always have to prepare that even if we give developers these opportunities, there's a big chance that developers will develop on
Yeah.
these lands. So we have to be cognizant of where we put these units or these opportunities for these units. So we're looking at the 6 cycles almost over. In 2028 we're going to be looking at the 7th cycle that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have to do is we have to have people like myself, we miss Beth Haney, but people that are in office that will fight for you, that would advocate for you and push back for you. So we want to keep our city the most beautiful and the most low density housing as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Because what makes us different from the next city over, like the Placentia or from Brea or from Anaheim Hills, right?
Sure.
What makes us different is that we have that low density, we have the hometown feel, we have parades, we have Main Street, right? Well, we don't have a parade, but we do have things like street parades and stuff like that. It's really quaint.
We have a very much a small town feel for
There
the
you go.
size of the city that we have.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and it's beautiful, and we want to maintain that.
Yeah.
So the next cycle, what we're looking at is making sure that we maintain those numbers and making sure that we push back as much as we can. Sacramento's not messing around. I mean, you see it on the news. We're fighting back, but even those who are fighting legally with lawsuits, they're losing. They all lost. We in Yorba Linda, we don't have a big trust fund, right? Yeah. So we're like, just to give you an example of where we're at on budget wise, Yorba Linda, we contract our police.
Yep.
So we're a contract city, our police and our fire department, but our budget, our police comes out of our budget. Our budget is $50 million, a little less than $50 million a year. Now take Newport, for example, because they get all those beautiful TOT dollars.
Yeah.
And they get almost $6 million in their general budget, but they contract again with police and fire services.
Right.
That could kind of give you like an idea of how we're maintaining our budget and how we're always trying to be solvent. That's a key word, because we don't have a revenue problem, right? We're maintaining well because we live in an affluent area, we have good property taxes, we get that shop, dine, support Yorba Linda going. People are shopping and dining and supporting Yorba Linda, so we got all that going. But so we have a good revenue, and this is key, but we don't have a spending problem. And what happens when we get into these big lawsuits, multi-million-dollar
Very
lawsuits,
expensive.
it will kill our city.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just don't have the resources for that. So we don't fight that way. But what we do is we strategically get people in office who would go to Sacramento and fight, and making sure that we push back on those numbers and making sure people know that we want to maintain our city the way we want to maintain our city with that beautiful Measure B.
Okay. So what I did want to ask you though, you've served on the city council, and I know that I could see you pour your heart into serving for the city. Do you anticipate, do you have any ambitions? Would you like to serve beyond our city council here in Yorba Linda at some point, whether it be at the county level, the state level, even beyond that?
Yeah, I get asked that question probably daily. If I got $1 for every single time someone asked me that, I'd probably be a millionaire by now.
Sure.
But I really appreciate that question, because that really means that people are seeing me outside of my role in city council. But I'll be honest with you, I love what I do. I love serving my city. It's been such an honor and a joy to do this, and I feel like I have so much to give more. And I know that's hard to believe because everyone sees me out and about and I'm giving 110. How could you give more? But there's so much that we could do here in our city. And there's a vision that's cast. And I think that's something that I want to make sure that gets followed through. But is there anything outside of that? There's always that possible. I know I'm on everyone's short list right now for state assembly, and that's been a talk for everyone. But I'm just gonna work my hardest right now of what I do. I'm a woman of prayer, and this is how I answer even when I got on city council, is that I pray about it first, and if God calls me to move up into into a higher office or to a different office, then I will do it. But I tell you, it's a lot of work. And we just saw the passing of one of our congressmen out in Central Valley just the other day. And it's really hard hit because these seats that we hold, and I think that we all should be praying for our elected officials. They're not easy because you're getting combated in every direction, not only just in your local, in your own party, but you're also being picked on or getting after, just even outside. I did the proposition no on 50.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I got a lot of colorful
Little bit,
emails,
I bet, right?
but you gotta take it,
Yeah.
and you have to understand people's perspective and
Yes.
listen to them. So, and that's something that I enjoy doing. So as long as I enjoy doing it, then I'll continue on. As long as I feel like God has called me to that position, I will stay there. But yeah, so I don't know.
No,
It's
I
a
love
short answer, but
No,
I'll keep praying about it.
I love that, and I think we're very fortunate to have you serving us here in the city.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, so one of the things that my husband and I see you frequently all over the place, and we always are so proud of you and what you've done within our community. We've known you for years, and it's just really, really awesome to see your involvement. But you are super involved. You're in all of these communities. Your community service is extraordinary. We see you on social media everywhere all the time. Do you have any specific strategies for posting on social media? Do you have any tips for us on how to stay on top of that?
Yeah,
What can you
that's a
share with
really
us?
great question. I mean, I get asked that a lot, and everyone else says, "Yes, you're everywhere. How do you do that?"
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, that's only like 30% of the actual work I do. The actual work I do is when I meet one-on-one and constituents who have issues or problems or needs answers to something, and those I'll set time for them and work those out with them with my staff members. I have an incredible city staff member. So 30% of that is what I put on social media, the events, the outreach programs, and just letting people know that we in the city, and not just myself, but other city council members, we're accessible. We're
Yeah.
there, and that's what really matters. And when you come to our city council meetings, it's usually that monologue, right? You come there and you have this issue and you talk to us, and we don't get to talk to you back. We don't get to answer your question right back or resource it right back because it's a monologue. You say it, and then you have to wait and like an hour later to maybe you get a chance where we'll pick up on and give you an answer to it. So being on social media is really important because people know that you're accessible and that you're able to access me, either whether you're at a function, whether it's holiday on Main Street, you'll find me there. If it's predictable, right?
Yeah.
If you're at the Halloween trunk or treat at this church, I'll be there because I posted I'll be there. So that way we're more accessible to others. And that's something that I think in social media has taught me, that you can use it to that advantage. When people would find me, in different places. Someone even said that, oh, I went to this place because I knew you'd be here. And so, and that's important for people and constituents to know that we're accessible, and social media is just one of those ways of communicating to your residents, and that I'm out there for you. And it's not just in Yorba Linda, but I'm also accessible to other North Orange County. There's a lot of, like, we have our what do you call it, our navigation center, which is our homeless shelter, and that's outside of Yorba Linda, but people know that I'm affiliated with that, and so if they want to give out resources to that, they know exactly how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, you do a really great job of communicating with
Thank
everybody
you.
and sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Janice, I know you even alluded to it a little bit earlier. You are very strong in your faith. And I just wanted to ask you about how your faith kind of interacts and really drives you and your service to the community and you professionally.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great question because a lot of time people overlook the word kindness. And I'm in a Bible study group, and we talked about the fruit of the Spirit, and one of them is kindness. And I often like scratch my head. It's like, that's a community builder, right?
yeah.
Being kind to one another is being a community builder, and that's one of the things that is being a good leader also has a lot to do with your faith about what you believe, and giving people the purpose and the joy, the hope that's out there. It's really important, and just knowing that, it really drives me. So my priorities are always faith, family, and friends, and then also education. We'll also constantly have to educate ourselves. We're not, everyone's smarter than me. That's how I
Yeah.
put it, right? I could learn something from anyone, from something from everyone.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, so faith has really been a big part of who I am, because it is my priority. It's where I the golden standard is that, we're truthful, we're helping out, and we're, making sure that we give people hope. One of the things I wanted to share is, I told you I'm part of the navigation center,
Yeah.
and we just picked a new operator, which is the Salvation Army. So I got together with my faith-based community, our North Orange County faith-based community, so 18 churches, and they're mega
Wow.
churches that are involved in this. And I brought them into the navigation center, again, the homeless shelter. And what is the one thing that these people, if you could give them one thing, what would you give them? It'd be hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hope and purpose. And so that's one of the things that I brought. So before I came on, the number, they're called positive outcomes. Nationally, we're hitting the national level 7%, which isn't very much. And so the positive outcomes weren't happening. I mean, you have to understand, Sacramento's spending millions of dollars on this, and the needle wasn't even moving.
Yeah.
And so what I did was brought in that faith-based element to it, where we have people that volunteer, that comes to the navigation center. I mean, could you imagine? These are volunteers. They come to the navigation center, sit one-on-one with a client. We call them clients at the homeless shelter.
Sure.
And we sit one-on-one with a client, and they ask them questions like, what did you want to be when you're in kindergarten? Like, what was your aspirations? And they would open up and they'll share. And then they get to the point is, well, what do you want to do? Like, what is it that would you want to do now?
Yeah.
And they would say, it would be simple things like, I want to see my son who's in New York. And I would always say, you're in the right place, because we'll get you to where you want to go. So there is a sense of purpose and hope. And that is something that these men and women that come to these navigation center, sit down with them. They spend hours a week sitting down with them and just sharing and getting ideas out. But it's that faith, right? It's giving them that hope, and to have them have that, there's a sense of purpose to that too. So our numbers, so long story short, our numbers is from 7% moved all the way up to 25%.
That's awesome.
So we're 3 times the average, the national average. So our success rates are 3 times the national. It is amazing, and it is because we have something going on here in Orange County, and that's the faith-based community. And so that's something that I always like to share, because it's incredible what's doing. No one's talking about it. It's not very, I don't know, I always like to use the word, it's not very sexy to talk about it, but it is very there's a very impactful what's happening in Orange County here.
All right. Well, Janice, thank you so much for being here with us today. We're so happy to be able to share with the community all that you've been involved in. Is there anything in particular you want to share with everyone for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, this is a hopeful season. I mean, we're coming into some new tax laws. So as you know, so right now, you're in the real estate business, so was I. So we know that there's a lot of things that we're looking forward to that would help us out. Affordability is a problem. Let's face it. It's been something that we've all been trying to combat, whether it's your water prices that are going to go up, your gas prices, your electric bill's gone up, your your waste is going to be going up too. These are things that we at the legislative level have been trying to get lower, right? But what's really helpful is that we're going to have a lot more tax credits to us. So we're able to have more liquidity in our pockets. So 2026 looks a lot brighter than it did 2 years ago. So that's something to look forward to. But we also be conscientious of the fact that things are also getting up. We see our food banks right now that are being depleted. quickly, but we are trying to work on that and trying to bring back programs into the area where so that we could get more food or more resources. So food insecurity is not a problem, but hopefully in 2026, I think it's looking good so far.
Looking bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Yeah.
We're happy to share with everybody, and we hope to see you soon. I'm sure we'll see you around the community.
Yes.
We usually do.
Look at me on social media, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Janice. Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.